Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Town of Cedar Lake Board of Zoning Appeals of March 12th, 2026. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Mr. Riley?
Here.
Mr. Jackson?
Present.
Mr. Burnham?
Present.
Mr. Swick is absent. Mr. Capora?
Present.
Mr. Austin?
Present.
Mr. Eldridge is absent. Mr. Kubiak?
Here.
Ms. Hyduk is present.
Okay, minutes for February 12th, 2026 have been distributed. If there are no corrections, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second it.
Motion by Mr. Riley to approve, seconded by Mr. Jackson. Roll call, please.
Mr. Riley?
Yes.
Mr. Jackson?
Yes.
Mr. Burnham?
Yes.
Mr. Capora?
Yes, motion carries 4-0. Old business, Boderman, developmental variance, owner petitioner, Marion B. Boderman, 1821 East Rainbow Lane, Creed, Illinois, vicinity 14216, Greenleaf Palace, Cedar Lake, Indiana. Petitioner has requested that this be deferred till next month.
I'll make a request to...
For good.
What's that? Oh, would I have to do it?
No motion. Okay, number 2. M&L Adventures developmental variance. Owner M&L Adventures, care of Vislaw, Appeal Box 980, Cedar Lake, Indiana. Petitioner, Vislaw, Appeal Box 980, Cedar Lake, Indiana. Vicinity of 10715 West 133rd Avenue, Cedar Lake, Indiana. Here too, the petitioner has requested a deferral to next month. New business, number 1, Beacon Point, Unit 8, developmental variance. Beacon Point of Cedar Lake, LLC, 8900 Wicker Avenue, St. John, Indiana, 46373. Petitioner, Beacon Point West, LLC, 2300 Ramblewood Drive, Suite A, Highland, Indiana, 46322. Vicinity lots 85, 88, 90, 92, 95, and 112, Cedar Lake, Indiana.
Richard Anderson, 9211 Broadway, Maryville, Indiana. As we said, the owner and the developer is Beacon Point of Cedar Lake. The petitioner is Beacon West LLC, which is McFarland Homes, which I represent the builder in this case. The location of this is Beacon Point, and this is Beacon Point Unit 8. It's an R2 subdivision. The developmental variances, as shown on the drawing, are lots 85, 88, 90, 92, 95, and 112, and it's to increase the lot coverage maximum from 25 to 29.8. It will not affect the setbacks on either side or the rear. They'll all remain as they are now. It will permit variations of the product, including an additional garage. A lot of times people want 3-car garages, and a porch, and a floor room that's either heated or cooled or both. And basically that's the purpose of it, and what it does is it gives a little variation to the subdivision.
Okay, Mr. Austin, are legals in order?
Legals are in order.
Thank you. Are these lots under contract, or are they?
Yeah.
So there's what, 6 lots here?
Oh, you mean 2 buyers? No, I mean they're being built. Some of them under contract, some of them are not. Basically, they're all under contract to the builder.
I understood that,
Okay, yeah.
but he doesn't have a house.
Some of them, I think, do. I didn't really ask that question, because what'll happen is as people come in, if they want the 3-car garage, then they're gonna gravitate toward these lots. It's a mix of a product.
Yeah, that's fine, I understand that, but that's not the way this was developed. And, we in BZA would like him to come in on a one-on-one basis. So when you have a lot that somebody wants to put a house on and wants a variance on it, then, they should come in before the BZA asks for the variance.
The problem is that people come in to build a house, and then it's a 2-month process to get a variance, and then you have to wait to build the house.
That's not our problem. The developer developed a property like this, and then we vetted it, and this is what he wanted. And now you come in, I know it's only, you're asking for,
Well,
9% over.
basically, no,
I mean,
trying to stay below 30%. And,
right,
you know, which
correct.
is, and basically what happened is the developer developed not only this section, it developed the other sections, 7 and 8, and they're all the same size lots, and basically in the future, maybe that has to change, but with these sections, they're already developed. They're already platted, they've been approved.
That's correct. That's correct.
For the
Yeah.
lot coverage and for your regulation, it was approved for that. You're in here to change it. So what we've done on all the houses and the whole town since I've been doing this, we take an individual basis based on the house.
But
Not
that-
give a blanket where he hasn't built anything, it's just a plain lot, and then give him a blanket and say, okay, you can build anything up to this point. We haven't done that through anyone,
That's what we got approved last year on 7.
on one lot.
No, on 6 lots. I did the same thing on section 7 because I got caught with the same thing I think it's called phase 7. But phase 7, you approved, I can even show you. You approved
And that was in the same subdivision?
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's right.
You
Mr. Chairman,
approved.
Mr. Chairman, may I suggest you offer Mr. Anderson the opportunity to show that he, by this petition, meets the guidelines of the Indiana Code 36-7-9. The criteria, the findings of fact.
Okay, I didn't quite understand that.
Well, he knows what it is.
So basically, the findings of fact that were presented in this
Burden of
case.
proof, actually. It's the burden
Pardon
of
me?
proof. It's the burden of proof.
Yes, yes. So the first one was, by providing the additional lot coverage would have no impact on the town or residents other than providing more tax revenue from the improvements constructed thereon. The other one was, the use and value of the area adjacent to the property, including the variance, will not be affected in a substantially adverse manner. Because of the increased coverage, it'll increase the value of these homes. So there's no adverse impact on adjoining lots or lots in this area. In addition, it's also creating the anti-monotony that I mentioned a minute ago, which is better. Some have 3-car garages, some have 2-car garages. You're not looking at everything looking the same. So that's another benefit to it. The third thing says, the strict application of the terms of the zoning ordinance will result in practical difficulties in the use of the property. And buyers are demanding more space than since when the development was approved. In addition, developer did not contemplate that potential buyers would desire additional amenities such as covered patios and additional garages. So basically what we're looking for is the porches and the patios and the additional garage.
Patio, because it's covered.
Right.
But I don't call that a hardship. You just build a smaller house on the lot.
You could, but you're gonna have houses that all look alike.
That's why they have different builders in there, so all the houses don't look alike. The point is that we're not against the additional coverage,
Right.
okay? But it's the blanketness of it. And we just do not want to hand out blanket, variances and leave it at that. We want to know what's going on, and we think that it's,
I've got pictures. This is what goes on there.
I'm saying, see, what's gonna happen? You are asking for this many this time, oh, they're gonna approve this, and next time you're gonna ask for 12. And then the next time it'll be 20. And
No.
then we're right back where we don't wanna be.
But I
So-
never came back after the last section. I asked for the 6 and I left it at that. And when you
Well,
ask.
no, you didn't, 'cause now you're asking for these
This
6 or
is,
7.
this wasn't even developed then, or I
But-
would've showed up
But
with
you're
all
saying
of
it's
them
the
and
same subdivision, right?
It's the same, it's
So
a
you're-
different section of the same subdivision.
Correct. So I'm saying it's not a hardship.
All right, let's see if there's any remonstrances. Let me call for remonstrations. Do we have any remonstrations for or against this petitioner, or petition? Any remonstrators for or against? Nobody online? All right, remonstrations are closed. Thank you. Building department,
I have nothing. I mean,
Hard?
I don't have anything. The houses that proposed are, still fit in the building lines, like kind of similar, but, I mean, I get what you guys are saying, but I have no comment.
Yeah, let's see, my only comment is that we have no problem with the additional 4% of coverage you're going for. I just don't like the blanketness of that. Now, we did do it before, I do remember that, but
We did. That was for Beacon Point.
so it's kind of discussion, do we have more discussion on this, or?
I feel like we've turned down quite a few blankets as well recently, so I don't know,
Yeah, we've turned them down, the problem we run into here is we did it for them before, a year ago, or whatever it was, and now we're telling them, no.
And the reasoning is because the covered porch, it's not that, they're gonna meet all the offsets.
The problem I have is they're not advertising the 2-car garage. They're advertising the 3-car garage, hoping that they'll get all these lots changed over. And if you go over there, you go look at the advertising order, it's a 3-car garage up on their advertising. So they're thinking they're gonna get a blanket okay on all this stuff. 'Cause that's all they're building now, some 3-car garages.
We only asked for these lots, and we didn't come back for any more in the other section.
there is 36 lots in Phase 8.
That's left?
There's 36 lots in this phase, so they're asking for 6 of the 36.
It just started.
It just started?
Yeah, there's nothing in it yet.
Phase 8, yeah.
I think they dug a basement today.
So how do we move forward if we approve this one? Is 6 gonna be the number every time somebody comes in, or like, what do we do next? That's kinda where I'm.
Well, that's it, yeah, I agree with you.
'Cause we
Yeah,
were
well,
like,
exactly, that's where we're in the predicament right now, is because we approved it, what, a year ago, was it, or whatever? So,
I always like to be an individual, just because, we had one where they asked for one, they built the wrong house and had to go to, the house that they were gonna put on that lot didn't match, and, when you have a blanket where you can just do, those houses are very similar.
as long as it fits in within the footprint and the setbacks, then it doesn't matter what the house looks like, as long as it meets the ordinances, it's not being too high, fits it within the footprint or within the setbacks and that sort of thing. So we can say, I guess, and council can tell me if I'm wrong, but, set a limit of no more than 6 requests at a time, and, or up to 6 at a time. And can we state only for this project, Beacon Point West?
Well, the rest of the project isn't subject of the public hearing, so you're encumbering without having jurisdiction, the 6 versus 36. So enforcement of that may be difficult.
Well, we can say the number, 6?
Well, you can say any number you want, you have that jurisdiction, you have a petition in front of you.
And I also have instructions from you, I would assume, depending on what you say.
We don't have to do a number, lock ourselves into it.
I'm just trying to
Would you
figure out
agree,
what-
though? I wouldn't wanna lock ourselves into anything. We're just done, we did the 6 for Beacon Point, whatever, 7th phase.
And it was those specific lots that were asked for, it wasn't just 6 lots of 36, I mean, it's these actual,
Yeah,
it's these actual lot 92, lot 90,
Right,
lot
and
88.
but the same thing, Tim was on the
That
last
was
one.
what happened last time, it was
That's
those
exactly what we did last time.
specified lots.
Yeah.
Yes. So it's not basically just for those, they just asking for.
I don't have a problem if it meets all the setbacks.
It doesn't meet all the setbacks.
It does.
Yes. It will too.
Yes.
Okay, Bob? So if everybody's ready to make a decision, then somebody make a motion.
I'll make a motion. What number are we on now? Number 1, new business?
Yes.
I'll make a motion to allow the petitioner to request a development variance to increase lot coverage on lot 85, 88, 90, 92, 95, and 102 to 29.8% from 25% in Beacon Point Unit 8 to the findings of the fact.
Is it 102 or 112?
112.
112, sorry.
All right. All right, I got a motion to approve, the variance request, by Mr. Burnham. Do I have a second? Do we need more discussion?
You have a motion, Mr. Chairman, you have a motion on the table. You need to deal with that first.
Okay. Do I have a second? Motion fails?
That's right.
Motion fails for lack of second.
Mr. Chairman, at least 3 of you must vote in favor or affirmatively for some action to occur. So if there's another attempt tonight or otherwise, you need 3 at least.
Well, do we want some more discussion, or what do we want to do here?
We approved it last time, I think everybody approved to do the last 6 for the other Beacon Point. I don't know what's different between the last approval versus this one. That we just simply don't want to do a blanket.
That's the only thing I'm hung up. I just don't know, like, what do we do every time we're gonna, is it automatic from now on? Or,
No.
as long as we're not gonna set that every time somebody walks in here, slap them with 6 or 12 or whatever they ask for.
6 custom homes, I mean, I would, if they didn't meet the setbacks, then I would say definitely not. I mean, if all 6 homes are gonna be, all meet the setbacks to what we voted on earlier of last year and everybody approved it, I don't see really what the difference between now and then was.
Okay,
If they're meeting all the codes, again, which they have to.
alright.
And they meet their burden of proof.
Right, and meets the burden of proof.
Do you need me to add to that?
And I know the plan commission in the future, for approvals, we're going to, insist upon lots large enough for the size house, but the house with 3-car garage and porch like it's talking, it's going to fit on it without asking for variances. So in other words, we've got 25% coverage, the lot's got to be big enough to allow that house to be put on there with just 25% coverage without going in for variance for more.
Okay.
But that doesn't help what has been approved today, because we've got stuff that's been approved that hasn't, all been built out yet.
Right, right.
Yeah. Well, if there's no other discussion, do we want to make another motion, or what do we want to do?
Is that required?
Yeah, the other motion failed, so we have to,
I'll make a motion to allow the petitioner has requested a development variance to increase lot coverage on lot 85, 88, 90, 92, 95, and 102.
112.
112. Why am I gotta have a misprint here. To 29% from 25% to Beacon Point Unit 8 to the findings of the facts.
Have a motion by Mr. Burnham to approve.
I'll second it.
Have a second by Mr. Jackson. Roll call, please.
Mr. Riley?
No.
Mr. Jackson?
Yes.
Mr. Burnham?
Yes.
Mr. Kapar?
Yes, motion carries 3-1.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Number 2, Burkett Developmental Variance, owner ABLTS LLC, Slate Drive, Dyer, Indiana, 46311. Petitioner Dan Andringa, 10609 Wicker Avenue, St. John, Indiana, 46373, vicinity of 9311 West 142nd Place, Cedar Lake, Indiana. Petitioner is requesting developmental variance to build a new home on a lot that is 7,500 square feet, 50 foot in width, and lot coverage of 28%. Are legals in order?
Legals are in order.
Thank you. State your name and address, please.
Dan Antringa, 10609 Wicker Avenue, St. John, Indiana.
Tell us what you want to do, sir.
I'm looking to build a new home on this lot. The square footage is under the required 10,000. I'm at 7,500 and also the same in the width of 50, and I'm looking to up the coverage to 28%, though my house will only cover about a little over 26.
The house will be what? A little over 26?
Yeah,
What
I'm
the-
just doing 28 to be safe.
This isn't a legacy lot?
It's not really, it is an old lot in town, but a legacy lot has to be under 5,000 square feet, so this is a R2 lot. It's an old pre-platted lot that's
Okay.
50 foot wide, so unless you have 80 foot of frontage, he has to come here and under 10,000 square feet. So he meets the setbacks for side yards, rear yard, front yard.
It looks like, yeah, he meets all the setbacks, it looks like.
Yeah, we just
Just a coverage issue?
the lot is not big enough for the current ordinance. When they switched it, they made 80 foot minimum, so.
Yeah.
There's a few houses down the road that are in the same size lot, that are about the same size that I'm.
Okay.
Where's the front of the house gonna be? On what,
Facing north.
facing north?
Yeah.
Will you have a seat for a minute, sir? Call for remonstrators. Do we have any remonstrators for or against this request? Any remonstrators for or against? If that, come up if you got a question or remonstration for this item only.
Okay, my name's,
Name and address.
my name is Mike Hare. I live across the street from this lot,
Address.
9306 West 142nd Place.
Thank you.
I just have a concern. I'm not opposing the building there. As a matter of fact, we appreciate having new neighbors in our area. We have we're on the west side of the railroad tracks, and during major flooding times, that whole area gets underwater. Now, I realize that we had problems with this property for years. The town did put 36-inch pipes under the railroad tracks to reroute the water. The only problem I have is there's two catch basins, one by the stop sign, and there's another street there going north and south that has another catch basin, and those catch basins end up getting clogged. And I've been in there when up to my knees in water to clean them, because when the sticks and everything flows, it clogs these catch basins. And I was wondering if there was a remedy for that, such as a dome-shaped cover on top of the catch basin so that the water could flow even though there's debris around the catch basins. And the reason why I say that, he's planning on building a house, I don't know if he's planning on putting a basement in, or if he's planning on putting just a, regular crawl space, or, I don't know what's going on there structure-wise, but my concern is water displacement in the area. And, that's all I'm stating. Is there a remedy the town can maybe put some different covers over those catch basins so that we don't have issues? We had 18 inches of water in that area, and he probably doesn't realize that, and I'm just concerned for him. If he builds a house, he may be underwater at times. So, that's all I had to say.
Thank you. Jim, you got an answer to that? or-
We could definitely look at the manhole covers if they're not in the roadway or in the traffic, we could probably put a dome lid on them for sure. If they're not, if they're off to the side, I'm sure that we can take a look at that. And then also with any of these houses in these remote areas like that, we have our town stormwater engineer check off on this site plan and sump pump tie-in and any other issues that might exist that we could remedy during the process. So, we do look at that before the building permit's issued, so, I made a note here about, we'll check on the grates, and if we can do something like that, that's a simple, something to at least give it a try and see if that helps. That would be, it's a good idea.
Okay, any other remonstrators for or against? Seeing none, remonstrations are closed. You can step back up, sir. Any other comments, Tim?
No, this is what's left there to build on, so, I feel that, that since he has the setbacks, he has a 50-foot lot, which is otherwise, deemed for, you really can't use it for anything else, but he's still meeting the setbacks and everything else there, so I don't have a problem with it. It's in an old part of the neighborhood where everything's split into 25-foot lots, so consistent with the area.
Board members have any comments?
No, I don't have an issue with it.
I don't either.
We just kinda collect shrubs and sticks and stuff now, so it'll be better.
Okay, then I'll, look for a motion on this.
I'll make a fair motion for petitioner request a development variance to build a new home on a lot that is 7,500 square feet with a 50 foot in width and lot coverage at 28% to the finding of fact.
Have a second?
I'll second it.
Motion by Mr. Burnham to approve, seconded by Mr. Jackson. Roll call, please.
Mr. Riley?
Yes.
Mr. Jackson?
Yes.
Mr. Burnham?
Yes.
Mr. Kapur?
Yes, motion carries 4-0. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Number 3, 2M Land Group LLC Developmental Variance. Owner, 2M Land Group LLC, 8421 West 139th Avenue, Cedar Lake, Indiana. Petitioner Michael F. Dolder, 8421 West 139th Avenue, Cedar Lake, Indiana. Vicinity of 13905 Husman Street, Cedar Lake, Indiana. Petitioner is requesting a developmental variance to build a new home on a corner lot with a lot size of 9,167 square feet with the front property width of 87.5 on Husman, then 103 feet on 139th Avenue. Front yard setback on Husman of 15 feet, 5 feet setback off 139th Avenue. Rear yard setback of 28 feet and a two-story home with the building size of 2,092 square feet. The attached garage will be over 400 square feet. Are there legals on this?
Legals are in order.
Thank you. Oh, there it is. State your name and address, please.
I'm Michael Dolder, 8421 West 139th Avenue here in Cedar Lake.
Tell us what you want to do, sir.
I've been a member of this neighborhood for over 24 years, and I've watched it grow and improve. I bought the property adjacent on the east in 2001. It was an older home. I gutted it out, remodeled it, new interior roof and siding. The property due north was burned down in a fire in 2002 and was brand new house built. The property to the south had an extensive rehab in 2013, and in 2013 I built a new home further east on the lake. And the property just north of that was torn down in 2019 and replaced. And this property became available in 2023, and my goal was to help enhance the neighborhood. What I'm seeking for variances, first of all, the lot size. This is Lakeshore subdivision, which was platted in 1926, 100 years ago. The lots are too small. I have no choice, sir. This is 3.5 lots, and I don't meet a minimum R2, so I need to ask for that variance. My setbacks, my goal is to kind of maximize my backyard privacy, and so I'm asking for a 15-foot setback on Houston Street, which would match the house directly to the south. On 139th Avenue, I'm asking for a 5-foot setback, which exceeds the setbacks of the houses going to the east. And then for the rear yard, I asked for that so that I'm not going to live there, I'm going to sell it, but I want to give the buyer a chance to build a decent-sized deck back there. The building size, what I'm seeking is only 95% of the minimum area of a 2-story, but I've been I want to keep this house reasonably priced, and I will have a full basement, so there'll be plenty of room. It's a 4-bedroom house, and there will be an attached 2.5-car garage, so I'm trying to come up with a design that'll be attractive to sell and not too outrageous in pricing. And again, in summary, I got 24 years in the neighborhood. I'm staying there. Whoever buys it's going to be my neighbor. You know, I'm just trying to have a reasonable house there.
What is the side lot on, along the 139th Street? What is that minimum supposed to be?
30 feet.
30 foot on 139th?
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to 5?
Do you have the drawing of what the adjacent homes are, sir?
Yeah, and again, the adjacent homes gives them a little bit of cushion, because you could, I mean, we do have honestly, I'm not even 100% that clause is still in the new 14. To match. But, yeah, I mean, at the end, if the one next door is only 5 feet, or it's close, 4 feet, then technically he would be entitled to half of what the neighboring house is according to the ordinance. So if they're 25 feet too close, I mean, he would technically be able to go 12 feet less than the 30, which would be 18 without a variance, I guess.
There's a shed to the east that's less than a foot
Yeah.
setback.
Well, it seems like there's a lot of land between, on the other side of the house. When is that house being moved over some?
Yeah, I mean, stuff could happen there for sure. I mean, he has a side load garage now, like you said, he's trying to maximize have some backyard and still be consistent with the neighborhood. So, I mean, this is his request, but if you look at the rest of the houses, how close they are to the roads, he's pretty similar in line, I guess, so that's why he's proposing this.
Yeah, but here again, we still have the room to move the house, so, you know, if he didn't have the room, I could see the request. But, he's got room to move that house, so I don't know what the distance is between, I don't know what the directions are here either. But on the opposite side of the house, between there and the property line, how much space is there? What's that dimension?
Looks like from the edge of the house to the property line is 41 feet.
Oh, 41 feet.
Yeah.
So he could definitely move that house
Yes.
over.
You can move it over and back.
My goal was to try to maximize the backyard, so whoever, you know, if someone's got a family, they got a place for kids to play and to get it off the street.
Well, sure, understood, you know, but, we also look at safety matters when it comes in here and you're 5 feet off a road, is the only thing I'm saying. If you've got houses that are there, have been there for years and 5 feet off, that's one thing. But when we have an opportunity to not do that, and that's the opportunity that we need to grasp at and try to get. So, I mean, that's what I'm looking at here. Can you have a seat for a minute? I'll call for the administrators. Do we have any administrators for or against?
Good evening. I'm Terry Cox. I own a home at 8505 West 139th Avenue. And I'm here to speak on behalf of many of the members who share the concerns regarding this petition. When this property was purchased in August of 2023, it contained a one-story home of approximately 1,038 square feet. It was located toward the southern portion of the lot. The northeast corner of Hoosman and 139th Avenue remained an open yard. The placement does matter. It shows that the parcel has previously supported residential use without extending building mass into the corner visibility of 139th Avenue and Hoosman Street. The applicant now requests to reduce the required 30-foot setback along 139th Avenue to a 5-foot setback, an 83% reduction, to construct a two-story residence of approximately 2,092 square feet with a substantial attached garage. The ordinance requires that the board to make written findings supported by evidence that approval will not be injurious to the public health and safety, and that the variance represents the minimum necessary relief to allow reasonable use. So corner setbacks exist to preserve sightlines, intersection clarity, and pedestrian safety. So 139th Avenue is not simply just a side street. It's the only internal corridor leading to our subdivision gate and commonly owned lakefront property, which serves approximately 100 homeowners. Members regularly walk, bike, operate golf carts, park vehicles, and travel this route, particularly during the seasons of the summer months when the lake is, flowing. So they also do boat lifts and piers. In addition, 139th Avenue functions as a utility corridor. The association is actively working with engineers on long-term water line replacement, planning for aging private water infrastructure. So maintaining reasonable setback distances along with the right-of-way preserves the flexibility for future utility placement and green space to allow maintenance access and public safety, and also to avoid costly installation under roadways. Reducing a 30-foot setback to a 5-foot setback on a corner intersection substantially alters the visibility intended by the ordinance and removes the open corner condition that previously existed and forces utilities to be installed under roadways. A preference for a particular building footprint does not, by itself, constitute practical difficulty under the ordinance. The evidence does not demonstrate that a more moderate setback, such as a 15 or 20-foot setback, would prevent reasonable residential development. The property would still be very usable. So based on the plan submitted, the request of reduction appears driven by a specific layout and garage configuration chosen, rather than by the physical limitations of the lot itself. A similar first floor footprint, a redesigned or reduced garage, or a modest shift of the building further south on the lot could allow a modern two-story home to be constructed while maintaining substantially greater compliance with the 30-foot setback along 139th Avenue. This does not appear to be a hardship created by the land, but rather a preference for a particular building footprint. The ordinance requires that any variances represent the minimum necessary relief. The materials presented do not demonstrate that a 5-foot setback is the minimum required to achieve reasonable residential use. So the question tonight before the board is not whether a home can be built, it's whether an 83% reduction of a required front setback at a corner intersection satisfies the statutory findings required for approval, particularly as they relate to safety and minimum necessary relief. If those findings cannot be based on the record, approval would not be consistent with the ordinance. And so, for these reasons, we respectfully request denial of the ordinance as submitted. In the alternative, if relief is granted, we respectively request that it be limited to the minimum reduction necessary with substantially greater compliance along 139th Avenue to preserve the intersection safety, infrastructure flexibility, and the intent of zoning standards. Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you. Any more public comments?
No, did you want to see any pictures of what we're talking about?
I have pictures.
You have pictures, okay. And as you can see on the one picture that goes all the way down 139th, down to the lakefront, the driveways were allowed to be put on that 139th Avenue. This way, and then Mike Doler's house, who is what is down on the lakefront, now, there's a driveway that goes right
Your name
along.
and address real quick, just so for the record.
Pardon?
You need your name and address.
Oh, Becky Davis.
Sorry, Becky.
I'm sorry,
So,
8504 West 139th Avenue. So that's, that's where we walk, we take all our stuff down, but I'll read what I have written. My name is Becky Davis. I have lived in Lake Shore subdivision since 2000. My parents moved here in 1954, and I grew up in this subdivision. It's where I learned to swim, boat, and where I now put out my own boat, lift, and pier every year. This community was intentionally designed in 1936 as a shared lakefront neighborhood. The homes are different sizes, different eras, different styles. That variety is part of its character. What makes Lake Shore special isn't that everything is new, it's the spacing and openness that connect us to the lake. 139th Avenue is part of that design. I walk it, I drive it, and move equipment down it each season. In the summer, families park there, children ride their bikes there. It's active and shared. When you start at the corner of Huseman and 139th, you can see clearly the openness contributes to safety. A 5-foot setback would noticeably change that condition. Once the space is at the corner, like it's reduced, it doesn't come back. A home can be built on that lot. That's not the issue. A variance intended at situations where the land itself makes compliance truly difficult. The request appears driven by a preferred footprint rather than a physical limitation of the property. I want Lake Shore to continue to grow and thrive, but in a way that represents the design and balance that have allowed us to function safely for the 90 years. Based on the plans submitted, the request reduction appears driven by the specific layout and the garage configuration chosen rather than by the physical limitations of the lot itself. A smaller first floor footprint, a redesign of the garage, or a modest shift of the building further south of the lot could allow a modern 2-story home to be constructed while maintaining substantial grading compliance with the 30-foot setback along 139th Avenue. This does not appear to be a hardship created by land, but rather a preference for a particular building footprint. The ordinance requires that any variance represents the minimum necessary relief. The materials presented do not demonstrate that a 5-foot setback is the minimum required to achieve responsible residential use. Thank you.
You're welcome, thank you. Come back up.
My neighbor next door to me, she couldn't make it tonight, but she asked me to read a letter that she wrote. Is that okay?
Probably just have to give her name and address.
Yeah, I have her name and address.
What was?
Name and address of the neighbors.
Yes.
Okay. So Jessica Morgan, she would be, east, so she would be closer to Huseman Street than I am. I'm one over. She lives at 13906 Huseman Street. So she says, to the Cedar Lake Board of Zoning Appeals, I'm writing to you to express my opposition to the variance being requested by Michael Dolder. Apparently, Mr. Dolder is incapable of building anything that complies with current or past developmental ordinances. I'm certain the ordinances were originally created with some thought given to the public health and safety and the general welfare of people in the community. I sometimes wonder why the town bothers to create ordinances when they continue to allow variances that have a negative impact on people that are affected by them. And the past variances granted to Mr. Dolder and others have lowered the value of my property. The view I once had of the lake is now a view of Mr. Dolder's roof. And now, once again, he asks for a variance that will more than likely block another view of the lake. I also believe the variance would create a potential safety issue for emergency vehicles since he wants to build so close to the road. I hope you will consider these concerns when making your decision.
Thank you. Do we have any more demonstrators?
John Rago, 8448 West 139th Avenue. I live on the other side of the street of the proposed, you know, the safe, we keep hearing about the safety and how it's gonna be so close to the road. And what 139th Avenue is such a integral part of the area. But yet, as you go west down there, there are several homes that are built 5 feet, 7 feet from the roadway. I mean, so what? The improvements that Ms. Cox is talking about, these houses are going to have to be moved? No, there's nothing you can do. It's the way it is in the whole neighborhood. You drive down there, and like I said, there's several homes that are close to the road. It's just the nature of it. It's not, I don't really see a safety issue or a problem with emergency vehicles getting up and down here or making turns around there. You know, I've lived there 6 years and I've never seen a problem. No one is going to be going into his yard to have to make a turn. I mean, it's plenty wide enough. I just I don't see that as being an issue. The neighborhood has changed. This is going to be an improvement from the neighborhood from what it was, and I think everybody should be encouraged by this. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Do we have any more?
Good evening. I came here tonight.
Name and address, please.
13908 Huseman Street. I came here this evening, Lynn Conroy. I came here this evening just to listen. I had no intentions of speaking to you guys, but just listening to my neighbor that just spoke. There is an issue. I live on the south, but I will be behind the house that's being built. The house that the garage is built right on the street is extremely dangerous when I come up to my house. I cannot see, when they come out of their houses, they don't stop. There's no stop sign. I have to come to a complete stop and make sure no one's coming. You block it again, with it 5 feet off, it's going to make it even harder for me. Vehicles cannot get down my street, and these two gentlemen can even say that. I can't get my street plowed. I have to call to get it plowed because that is so close to the street. So it will affect. I didn't, like I say, plan on speaking here, but after listening to the two of them, a lot of times I come up to my house, I can't get to my house. My neighbors have the street blocked for me. I said, could you please not block the street? They're like, well, we never know when you're coming, Lynn. So it does make a difference. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Any other demonstrators? Last call. Demonstrations are closed. Step back up, sir. Tim, you got any comments?
No, I mean, there is room to scoot it over, I mean, and center it up on the property. I mean, there's some space there. I understand what he's asking for, to have some yard space left, and there was a house there, but, we did take into consideration the vision triangle. If you look at the triangle in that survey, there is still vision there as far as the vision triangle for the town goes. Other than that, that's all I have. I mean, it looks to me like there's probably room to scooch it another 20, 15 feet, 20 feet away from 139th and still have the side door garage.
And,
But then you'd have no yard, front yard,
what's the distance for a driveway from the property line?
right now.
Yeah, what do you have to have, what are you supposed to be? You're
Oh,
offset.
you don't have to be any.
So there's 0. So we have 41 feet on one end, you have 5 feet on the other. So and you're not living in this house, you're building this house to sell. So that's why you're doing selling points, you're trying to get farther, but a selling point for a 5-foot setback on there, I don't think that's a good selling point, but it's not my house to sell. So I have to approve, your setbacks, and I don't see how this is how you have any problem, you have plenty of room to move this house. You wouldn't have to have a 5 setback, but you could definitely have a 25 off that road. And you need to keep your backyard, because it looks like the lot's on angle, you're gonna be gaining distance from Husband Street, you'll be gaining when you start going back the other way. How big is the driveway, do you know? Is it 16, 20?
Well, I've got, 2 different it'll be a 2.5 car garage, so I won't have enough room that you could back out.
Correct,
and drive out,
so
it's
it's
nominally
probably at least
20
a
foot.
20?
Yeah.
So that gives you 21 feet, with another 2 feet off the other property line.
That's a 41-foot backyard right now, is what I'm reading?
Yeah, he's got 48 on the back, and another, well, I guess.
Yeah, however you look
the
at it.
backyard is 48 feet, the side yard, which would be the south of the house, is 41 feet.
Yeah.
Bottom line, there's no hardship on this lot to put that thing 5 feet off the road. He's got plenty of land to put that thing right in the middle, and do his setbacks.
And
I could
keep
see if
his
you had a
backyard.
small lot, like the last guy, he had a 50-foot lot.
Right.
This is an 87-foot lot.
87 by 103.
Yeah, that's a huge.
I don't know, this is my opinion, I think the curb appeal of getting off that road would be, I wouldn't want the house being 5 feet off the road. We have a shed that's literally on the property line back, so I don't know how, to turn around with that in there, good luck.
That's been here for a long time.
Correct. But somebody approved, it looks like, I'm sorry, it looks like an alley.
What are the front setbacks along those streets there?
30.
30? All the houses along there are 30?
All the
I've
houses.
dimensioned it on the drawing. If you're looking at sorry.
No, a lot of the houses are way closer than 30. Like,
Oh, that's
Well,
for
that's what
three
I'm
homes,
asking.
they're
He's
putting
got
a car right
15.
there, that's what, maybe 12, 15 feet at the most. If he chopped that top, he'd get 25 feet off the road.
We can move it back,
20
too, we'll
feet.
get a little more.
20 feet off of 139 would be huge, comparisons to what other people have looking down the road. Sir, what house do you live in, I'm sorry?
All the way east on the lake.
So your house is behind the one with the shed right on the corner?
Correct.
And you wrap around, okay. I don't have any questions.
Well, I think you need to rethink what you have here and reposition
Can
the
I
house
ask,
or.
can I ask if you would consider if I did 15 feet on both streets? Would that,
I wouldn't. There's
No,
enough
I
land here to put it where it should go. And that's our job. If he's got enough land, he does not have a hardship
well,
to move it anywhere closer. Just because the other house is next to it, that was built, 70 years ago.
Oh, you want 30 on each for the front and the side?
Yeah. He's got it. And I don't see no hardship in putting that house in the middle.
He has 3 front yards, so.
Yeah, technically.
That's what happens when you got a corner lot. I don't make the rules.
I'm just
I just
saying-
gotta follow them.
I'm just saying, that would require a 30 foot. You can't, I mean, the lot is gone there. I'm just saying you can't do what you said. You have to have a happy medium, but if you want 30 by 30 by 30, you'd have enough room for a shed in the middle.
Well, I don't want 5 and 15.
I understand that, but I was just saying there is a third front yard in the equation.
I mean, you technically could do 20, no problem. And not even have to change the size where he's put that garage.
As it's shown with the 20-foot deck, you would have 21.6 off of both Huseman's, and you would have 23 off of 139th and 23 rear yard still. So, I mean, that would like center it up. I just did the math, so.
Right.
You have 23 off 139th, 23 off of the.
It's a lot better than 5 and 15.
Well, I wasn't gonna grant 5 anyways. I'm just speaking on my behalf. There's no way I'm doing 5 feet setback. I'm gonna vote no. So that's not fine, especially with lot. I mean, you're still gonna have your backyard, and I think that's a good selling point. I mean, you're selling this house, you're not living there.
Yes, sir.
So we have to make what's good for the community plus the person that's buying that house. Would you consider those setbacks?
Of what, sir, again?
So it would be, instead of 5 feet, it would be 23 feet?
23.
And
20.
23 feet off of 139th?
And 23 off of Huseman.
It would be 21.6 off of Huseman Place, 21.6 off of Huseman Street. That would be to his proposed 20-foot deck. You know how he shows that 20-foot deck there? So
Yeah, and then he has another
I did the
26 feet
28
for that other
I
side
took the
yard.
28 and the 15 and split that in half. That was 43 feet, and then split that in half, which was 21.
Oh, you can lose that.
But that was
What do you make
leaving
a
the
skinnier
20
deck?
Huh?
Looks like a pretty good sized deck on the back.
That's what I just want to tell you, you could shrink the deck
Yeah,
down.
right.
Or make it long and, all
Yeah.
along the back of the house instead of out away from the house.
Right.
If you shrunk the deck down a little less, you could make a little more. That's all I tell you, that was including the 20-foot deck.
Yeah, I don't think that,
So 15.
I'm not here to design a house, I'm here to grant or not grant a variance.
20, so it's 20 and 20. Yeah, but he'd still have a 20-foot. He'd take that 8 feet from the back, add it to the front. That would give him his 23, right? So is that the math you're doing?
I would say, if he wants, we defer this for a month, he comes back with a different layout to agree, something to more our liking, or we deny it right now.
What do you think, sir?
Are we at liberty to negotiate tonight? Well, again, but I want to, can I remind you that one of the things in the variance is that my building size is undersized. That was one of the variances. I do not have the square footage.
You don't need never mind.
Right, so when people say you could reduce the floor plan, it's like, if I make it smaller, that makes that part of the variance worse. But if, the lot size, I would think, from your standpoint, is pretty straightforward, right? It's all I got, that's pretty straightforward. I mean, what else am I gonna do, okay? So that should be set. In the building size, I've got a building, if we said, if you said like 20 foot and 20 foot, 20 foot off 139th, 20 foot off of Huseman,
I am suggesting the option of we defer this for 30 days and you come back with a better plan, something we can see. I'm not here to negotiate. It's either I'll grant a deferral or I'm gonna vote no. And that's the bottom line. Now, the rest of these guys, they can make their own decision and see what's going on, but that's my choice tonight.
I don't really know if that's within the discretion of this body to...
It absolutely is.
Oh, okay. I mean, to make a change.
Mr. Dolder, you're in Rome. What are you doing?
So,
So your rear setback.
See, the whole thing of it is you've got a vacant lot now, right?
yes, sir.
All right, build it to the ordinances. That's all we're saying. If you can't make the ordinance, then come in with a reasonable request for a variance. 5-foot setback on a vacant lot, when you don't meet the 5-foot setback, is not a reasonable request.
Okay.
And so, I agree with Mr. Burnham and Mr. Riley, and I'm sure Mr. Jackson agrees too, that if we were to put this to a vote right now, you would have 4 noes.
But,
Plain and simple. So you have 2 choices.
okay,
Flip a coin, take a choice, see, how we vote, or you can go back and redesign this whole project of yours, because you're still in the design stage. Now, understood, you want the best possible product you can to make the most money you can. I understand all that. But we're not here to see that you make a profit. We're here to see that the residents in this whole town, not only around you, don't get injured or unsafe or what have you because of what you built. So your choice is defer and come back with a better plan, okay, with the setbacks and that, or tell us to put it to a vote.
okay, so I can defer and come back next month with a slightly altered, with a significantly altered plan without having to go through the whole process?
Yes, you can. All you have to do is ask for a deferral, and then you can go back and redesign this on that piece of property. If you need to change the design of the house or whatever, go right ahead, because you have nothing but an application in right now.
Mr. Kapura, I would like to request a deferral.
Okay?
Hey, can I ask one question before I close it?
Sure.
What was the setback on the front of the house? So we had, what did you come up with? I didn't write down that number.
Oh, I came up with 21 foot 6 inches, and that was for the,
That's all 3 streets?
that was 21.6 on 139, 21.6, which would be considered
Yeah,
the
21.6,
opposite yard on
and then
139.
25 feet setback off of 139th, and then, rear setback. We're gonna lose.
Wait, would you, I've got confused, which is 21'6"?
21 foot 6.
The front of your house.
Okay,
Huseman.
21.6 is the one, is between the Husemans.
Okay,
That's the front.
what'd you have
door.
on
And
139?
then, on 139th, it was 23, and that was just centering up the exact same thing that's drawn.
Which I came up with 25. So that would give them a 21.6 driveway.
Okay.
I'd go 25.
I'm
Instead of
sorry,
your 5 setback, 25.
I'm open to suggestion, thank you. And 139th, you're saying?
Correct.
Okay,
Then you're gonna lose 6 feet off your back. Because you gotta gain it in the front, right? Because the front right now measures out 15. We're gonna go to 21.6.
Right,
Correct?
right.
Well, that was just centering it up with the 20 foot deck. Yes, sir.
If you put a 10-foot deck on it,
That'd give you, that would give you 25 feet on each side.
25 would be great all the way around.
That'd give you a 26 foot 6. Yeah, 25,
I mean,
25.
the guy next to him only has a 15 setback. He's gonna do 6 feet deep more than that guy.
I'm just saying. And so, it's in his hands now.
Right. He's got the
What do you
general
think?
idea of what we want.
What we want.
It's up to him to come back in with
I agree.
Do we need to make a motion for defer?
Yes, we need most.
I'll make a motion to defer to the next meeting.
Got a motion by Mr. Burnham to defer this, request till the next meeting. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Mr. Jackson. Roll call, please.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
as you, take this vote, do you want to consider whether you will allow the public to speak again? Pretty substantial, neighborhood interest here.
Yes, I would allow the neighborhood to speak again, because there was a lot of concerns, and I think they need to see what he's gonna wind up doing, or propose to do, so that they know what's going on. So yes, I would reopen remonstrations.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay? Roll call, please.
Mr. Riley?
Yes.
Mr. Jackson?
Yes.
Mr. Burnham?
Yes.
Mr. Corporal?
Yes, motion carries 4-0. Thank you, sir. Okay.
You wanna tell them to make sure they're at the next meeting, because they won't get another notice, so let them know that they have to be at the April 9th meeting.
The next meeting,
Yes.
is
April 9th.
April 9th.
April 9th.
April 9th at 6 o'clock here. April 9th, 6 o'clock here. Okay?
Yeah, April 9th at 6 o'clock.
Yeah, 'cause you won't get notified again, so there won't.
They do get notified?
They won't.
No.
No, you won't, but
That's why we're
the
telling-
agenda will be on the town page too.
Yep.
So, okay, where am I at here?
There's a notice, or? That's,
Yes, it's signed, isn't it?
that's getting,
Number 4, M&L Adventures LLC, care of this law, developmental variance, M&L Adventures LLC, care of this law, P.O. Box 980, Cedar Lake, Indiana, vicinity of 10715 133rd Avenue, Cedar Lake, Indiana. Here again, the petitioner has requested deferral to the next meeting, so we will move on.
He might be okay, 'cause he did from the 8th.
That's it.
Okay, public comment. Do we have any public comment? Pardon? No, number 4 is deferred.
Yes.
Well, it's public comment, but we're not gonna go into so long drawn out, you know.
This is Becky Davis, 8504 West 139th Avenue. And one of the things I'd like you guys to take into consideration is that 139th Avenue is our entryway to our lakefront. And since we have 100 families that share that lakefront, they all park along this 139th Avenue. And when Mr. Rago was, built his house, he was allowed to put a driveway over here, so now we can't park down there. Before Mr. Dowling owned this house, and I'm sure, I don't know if you guys know who Mr. Dowling is, and that's the reason why this is right on the property lines, and this is right, and actually, this house right here is also on subdivision property. But back then, they did whatever they wanted to do. So, if he puts his driveway here, a 2.5 car garage, that's gonna take away all of our, take away quite a few of our parking. So, I don't know if we can say, can we have his garage open up to 139th Avenue or to 139th Court, and not on Huseman, and then Huseman Court or Huseman, and not on 139th Avenue, because we have to park here. People, come
But
from...
his driveway now opens up on Hughes.
yeah.
It comes on Hughes, on his design, his driveway's on Hughes.
It's on Huseman?
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Not on Huseman Place, it's on.
It's
on Huseman.
Street. Yeah,
There's
you're right.
Huseman
That's
Court,
on Huseman.
oops, sorry,
It's on
Huseman Court
Huseman Street.
and Huseman Street.
It opens
And then
down.
139th, because that is the only thing, the only way that we can share that. Since Terry has become our HOA president, or whatever, water management company, blah, 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 but we're improving our beachfront. We're cleaning it up. We've got, camaraderie in the neighborhood all going down there. And then we have people who try to not let, we've been doing this for 40 years. I've been there since 1954. And it's the same old, over and over and over and over again, and ordinances were made for people to follow. We shouldn't have to come here to see to it that the ordinances are followed and that the rules are, and I thank you very much for doing what you've done. You've done a very good job, and I appreciate all of you, every single one of you. But please, take into consideration, there are kids that ride their bikes down there. They ain't gonna look.
It's like any other neighborhood in this town, we all sitting up here, everybody understands that.
Mhm.
So we do take all that stuff into consideration.
Thank you so much. I
Okay.
really appreciate all your hard work. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Mr.
President,
Swicker,
Mr.
do you have
Chairman.
comments that you can make, that the public can just make now?
Okay,
I need your name and address.
yes, okay, it's Carol Kerr, 9900 West 129th Place. I live in Monastery Woods, I've been there 8 years. I have a nice, beautiful, I feel, single-family McFarland home. When you have like this lawyer come up here, spokesman for McFarland, why not say to him, you can build all you want, or to a point, and I shouldn't say all you want, will your builder, pay for a well? You know, if he wants a little bit here, and then he's gonna add a little more, like you say, all of a sudden, because we still have a moratorium on building, don't we?
Yes?
And we have sewer trouble in the future, we have water trouble now, and he's building on the east side or the west side? West side, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, that's where, that's where I live. Olthoff offered and did, my understanding is, dug a well, and I was at a town meeting and not that long ago, and they're like, he got water, and I felt like, some TV show, we struck it rich, and then it turned out the water was full of sulfur, and it's too expensive to get the sulfur out. So but at least he was willing to do that, and I'm trying to figure, it's off parish. I think that, it's a big farmland, I've looked at it, it's all cleared land, and I assume that, he wants his money back on that land, and he probably will try maybe another well. I haven't heard anything as a homeowner, but how about all these builders who made their money on the home I bought, Monastery Woods, all these developments should have been asked way back when.
They were.
They were, well, then they shouldn't, I'm sorry.
When we negotiate, or when they come and are vetted at the plan commission, we try to get them, or we do get them, they pay for infrastructure. Olthoff put, his test wells in on his own nickel. We ask, a lot of these, developers are asked to do certain things if they have to have, turnoffs put in to, the subdivisions, to keep the traffic flowing. They have to do the acceleration lanes and what have you. So the town council, the planning commission is on top of that, and they try to get every nickel they can out of the developers. So, don't have the fear there.
Okay, why don't you say to this man tonight, you can't build, we have a moratorium, and even if you want
Because he can
build a well.
He can build on anything that has been approved prior to the moratorium.
Okay, was this prior to, right now?
Yes,
Oh, then why did you even have to vote on it?
because it was a variance. His coverage was more than what was approved
Oh,
when it was
okay.
approved.
Okay, now I understand. So, have you contacted any of these builders to, are you going to dig a well for us? Anybody?
Man, we're the Board of Zoning Appeals, it has nothing to do with what you're
Oh,
asking.
okay.
I can't go to a builder, the people that you're asking the wrong board. Really.
And
we
what
have
board would I
nothing-
ask then?
That's plan of zoning, right?
Planning commission.
Planning?
And the
Planning
town council.
commission.
We have nothing,
Town
we have
council.
nothing to do
Okay.
with that, yeah.
But
when
every developer that been building in this town is well aware of the situation, is well aware of what they have to do, to put a development in. And we negotiate the best we can. We're not always 100% successful at what we try to get, but, I sit on the plan commission also. So
Because a lot of them are building in Cherville now.
Pardon?
A lot of builders are building in Cherville now.
Well, they
Now,
can't build here,
they dump Cedar Lake,
well, they can't build here, so where are
Right.
you gonna build?
but yet they made all that money on us, right?
They don't have what?
They made a lot of money on this town, would you say?
I have no idea.
Well, I would think so. I mean,
Well, that's what they're in business for, so I mean, what do you want me to tell you?
yeah, but what my train of thought is like, you made money on this, you're a successful builder, why wouldn't you help the town? And then, there's still a lot of land, and then you could still possibly build more, right?
As they come in to develop, we do our best to get what we can from them. And
Okay.
you can't go back and, say, okay, now that you completed it and you had a better bottom line than what you thought you were, now you gotta give us 5% of that. You can't just do that. So I thank you for your comment.
Wait, so all this gentleman tonight was doing a variance like 2-car garages, 3-car garages, that was it, okay?
He's
Finally
building
got
a bigger
it.
house
You had to dumb
than-
it down for me because I didn't
Yeah.
get it. I thought he had some land and he's just, no.
No.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
You bet. Any other comments? Seeing none, we're adjourned. Thank you.